Hello, welcome back to LIVENODING. In this episode, I want to share the breakdown on how I created this artwork. It's basically like a 3D scan, but I scan only the point cloud. And there's a few of objects here, but it's gonna be more obvious if I turn on the original color. So currently, okay, let's take a look at the shader of this object. So there are a couple of different objects, and I colorize the objects point cloud using this method. So based on the point cloud color, I just simply remix it with these 4 different color. So it's like it's a little bit like a Lego type of works. Okay, so but it's really rough, but still pretty obvious where I get the inspiration. If I turn off the color and actually turn off this RGB curve as well, so you can start to see. Okay, there's this guy over here. I scan my friend actually really roughly, and I scan this car somewhere in the city, and this is there's this graffiti near the rubbish bin, and there's also, I think there's okay, there's this statue over here from the garden. So each one of them was originally just like a point cloud capture, and I simply decimate it into, so it's looking like a Lego. Okay, so let's take a look at the geometry nodes. I can hide everything for now. Oops. Yeah, maybe just leave the car. Okay, so it's looking like this. So you can think of it just like point cloud with an instant cube. If it's a Lego, it's a cube with a cylinder. All right, so remember the old setup. You basically just imported the PLY and just simply import it as vertices only, and then all you need to do is, in this case, turn the mesh into points. And then what I did here for the Lego setup, I snap the position of the point cloud, so it's kind of snapping into the grid. So we need that kind of setup. This is a vector math. I snap the position and then merge it by distance. Okay, and then I simply instance like a kind of like a Lego. So the final result is looking something like this. So this is the instance, just a cube and a cylinder. If I try to break it up a little bit more, maybe if I select this guy, and I think the most interesting part is actually the increment here. So my setup is not 100% ideal at the moment, but it should give you the idea. So yeah, so the cylinder, the cube and the cylinder is just for the like a basic rough Lego, and I instance it on points, and I realize the instance and set the material. So the rest of them is not really important, except for this part, capture attribute and transfer attribute, and the snap. This is just to transfer the original point cloud color into the instance geometry color. If I turn off the snap, I think if I turn off the snap, the color will kind of like a little bit soft. So I have this snap, so each color will snap to the nearest points or something like that. So that's the idea. I think the increments, this value has something to do with the snap increment. Okay, so yeah, if I make this larger, we're gonna have larger size Lego. Sometimes maybe you want something like this, depends on what you're doing, so depending on the objects and the details of the scan as well. So I just make sure I have these increments outside. You can actually replace each of the cube. In this case, it's looking like a Lego that we know of, but you can really just replace it with anything. Maybe just turning it into coins. In this case, this is the cylinder, but you can see the coins is arranged like a grid. I think all of this is possible because of this one node vector snap. Okay, this is vector mask snap based on the position, and the rest of them is really just the transferring of point cloud color into place. Okay, so yeah, maybe this is what you want. You can play around with the increment in the different part of this. Let's try and make this 0.01. So now it's looking like a coins. So the color simply is simply grabbed from the original point cloud. So yeah, you can use a couple of apps to do this. Scaniverse can do that. You just simply export it as PLY color. There is also Record 3D, Haggis 3D, and EveryPoint. There's also Sitescape app if it's for iPhone LiDAR. But if you go to older iPhone like iPhone 10, you can use the front camera to take the point cloud. But the scanning, normally you can scan any normal mesh and then turn it into PLY point cloud. So it's possible. And yeah, let's just turn this into like a coins color. If it's a coin, maybe I need to randomize the position of the coins. I mean, vertically, so it's at the moment it's too straight, but I think this is kind of a interesting looking art as well. .005. So I'm vertically changing the design. So I found that the idea of scanning, scanning objects, it's almost like a reverse gravity. Or you scan like a 3D objects that you found, like cars, maybe mural or sculpture, because they are already like made by someone else, and you want to kind of recreate it and make it yours. It's kind of almost like a remix, a little bit like remix. If you're doing graffiti, you're painting, your canvas is whatever you see, right? Normally it's just the wall, but with the 3D scanning, I think it's a remixing of objects without actually you don't do like it's not vandalism. However, you're also doing like a remix of things. So whatever, if you scan your friend or like scan your house and then you paint it digitally, you're kind of creating like a new canvas, and you're creating your art on top of whatever you're making. So this is one sort of example. All right, so hopefully you find this useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.